What's good, everyone? This is your host, Tarad Rashan, and you are now tuned into Taradcast. For all of the brand new listeners out there listening to our show for the very first time, welcome. And for all of you returning listeners coming back for another spectacular dose of Taradcast conversation, welcome back. Now, here at Taradcast, you can take everything we say with a grain of salt. We simply just want to add some flavor to your meal. So if we are doing that, then we are doing our job. Today's episode features probably one of the hardest working women that I have known and had the pleasure of going to school with. And here she's going to be talking more about her business and what she's doing and what has led up to her escalation to greatness. So without further ado, today's episode topic is the Gawdess Mafia. This is Taradcast. Let's get it. All right, y'all. What is good? Again, I'm your host, Tarad Rashan, and you are now listening to Taradcast. And I'm glad you're here. Glad to be back. You know, this episode is one that's very, very special to me because we are literally going to be talking to a young woman who is really making an impact through her company, through her brand and everything that she's doing. And I cannot wait to dive deeper into her mind and to just understand like the creation process and the execution and everything that's happening when it comes to her company. And before we get into the good parts of our conversation, we have to do our housekeeping details. So if you would like to take our show with you on the go, just know that we are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, Spreaker, Podchaser, Castbox, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and YouTube. You can also find Taradcast on Throne, which is a free live messaging application that allows us here at Taradcast to exclusively reach our listeners. Make sure to sign up if you'd like to keep the conversations going after the episode. If you're looking for natural oils for ultimate hydration and care for your hair and skin, hit up The Resilient Lotus at www.theresilientlotus.com. You can also use promo code TARADCAST to receive a discount on your purchase. If you are a lover of authentic, chunky salsas and the most delicious birria tacos in Oklahoma City, make sure to reach out to Morenitas Salsitas at www.CRTN-T.com/Morenitas-Salsitas. And last but not least, if you are in the market for an affordable graphic designer to create your next logo, flyer, album cover, or animated video, check out at Rose Graphism. That's ROZAYGRAPHISM on Instagram. And you know what? Before we close the housekeeping, I haven't done this in a while, but I need to give a very special shout out to all of you supporting Taradcast on Patreon. Like, y'all are some of the dopest people I know. And the fact that y'all are continuing to support this show, that says so much. That says so much to me. And honestly, there's so many things that I would want to do, but wouldn't be able to do if it weren't for your direct support. So as soon as this next package comes in, I'm expecting either tomorrow or Friday, I'm going to be sending you all some personal thank yous in the mail because y'all matter that much to me. And I appreciate everything that you have done for Taradcast during the course of Taradcast's existence. Like, y'all are dope. I want y'all to know that, and I appreciate you. And if you're listening and you want to be a part of our Patreon family, we have plenty of space for you. like I like to close out these housekeeping sections, all this information will be in the show notes, including where to find us on Patreon. And so if Patreon is something that you would like to support us on, we would definitely love to have you there. And even if that's not your cup of tea, just know that having your ear and having your time in this moment means so much to me. And I just want to say thank you for that as well. Because again, Tarodcast would not be what it is if it weren't for people just like you. So thank you. Thank you all so much. And now let's go ahead and get on with the show. All right, y'all. So our guest today comes from a line of some of the hardest working women I know. She's a brand and marketing strategist, a growing mover and shaker in the photography and modeling scene, a fellow classmate of mine, and the sister of 3 beautiful and successful Black women, and the mother of another up-and-coming entrepreneur. To Rodcast, I'd like to introduce you all to Vanessa Williams. Vanessa, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello, I am doing great. Blessed to be alive. Be up another day, so I'm doing wonderful.
All right. I heard that. So Vanessa, you and I have known each other for a while now, and just seeing your trajectory as a person has been probably one of the greatest things I have ever had the privilege to witness. And what you're doing, and I know we're going to get into this here later in the show, but what you're doing is phenomenal. So what I want to do right here and right now is just give you your flowers while you can smell them, because, again, you are accomplishing so much, and I can't wait to see what else comes from you. And so I just, look, if this weren't over Zoom, I'd be handing you a bouquet of flowers right here and right now, so you can just have it.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Thank you. If anything, thank you. And so I want to talk a little bit about your beginnings, your upbringing. And I know for you, it's basically like a family dynamic of success. So Vanessa, you and I both know that of course we've got history from where we went to school and where you and I both worked together for a good amount of time, the good old Chick-fil-A days. So we're going to save that, right? So we're going to save that conversation for another episode. But what I didn't expect is to be someone who would be able to experience firsthand and also work alongside the very woman who literally gave birth to you and your sisters. Your mother, shout outs to your mom. She knows who she is. She is a phenomenal woman who raised phenomenal young women of her own. So tell me what home life was like for you growing up, and what were your mom and dad like as parents?
Home life was great. I was fortunate to grow up with both parents, up until my high school before my dad passed away. So, it was just your traditional upbringing, go to work, go to school, get an education. Everything was kind of uniform. So it was kind of just like your traditional family. So everything kind of, was, I don't think anything out of the ordinary. It was pretty much traditional growing up. I mean, we did start out working at a young age. My parents did teach me if you wanted something to go out there and get it. So nothing was handed to us. We was fortunate to be, middle/upper class with our upbringings as well. But our parents did teach us, to go out there and get what you wanted. So I've always had that spunk in me to be successful, all of us.
Now, if that is if there's anything I know about truth, what you said is exactly that, because I can definitely visualize what life was like, especially, with your home life. And I'm actually very, very happy to hear just the fact that you all had the upbringing that you all had, and the fact that it created values in all of you that you've been able to carry and evolve into adulthood, and just to be able to be just to have your own shine, to have your own specific, unique version of what success looks like, especially coming from a household where they gave you the framework and they told you, okay, now what are you going to do with it? And I don't know, just the fact that, you know, it's transforming in the way that it has, it really continues to get me excited. And so for me, I also want to know a little bit more about your sister. So what was your relationship like with your sisters early on, and how has your dynamic with them grown and evolved?
You know, of course, me and Alicia were only 1 year apart, so we were fairly close. Even in high school, we're one grade behind each other. So I believe our relationship was actually really great. And then my little sister, Momo, she was a couple years behind us, but we pretty much did a lot of stuff together. We always did family stuff. We were always, you know, in sync with each other, around each other, planning family events. So we kind of stayed close all of our years. We felt we were always had, you know, some people don't grow up with siblings, so
Right.
we did truly value being around our family. So our bond has always been tight since we've been born, pretty much.
That's what's up. See, I did not know that you were the middle sister. For whatever reason, I thought you were always the youngest. And it wasn't until like maybe a month or two ago, you made a Facebook post that blew my mind. And I was like, wait a minute. So you're not the youngest. Oh, okay. Well, that just throws everything that I thought out the window. So, you know, and not that that's a bad thing, but I was just like, I knew there were three of y'all. I just didn't know. I mean, I knew Alicia was the oldest, but I'm just like, I did not know where you and your youngest sister fell. So I was just like, okay, I'm just going to assume Vanessa's the youngest. I don't know why I did that. Forgive me, please forgive me. But at the same time, again, just knowing that you all had that sisterhood, that you all had that bond. I'm like, that is extremely important, and just to know that you all grew up close and you all continue to be close, like that is something that to me is just amazing. You hear all kinds of stories about siblings who don't speak and, you know, all this stuff, a lot of drama and whatnot, a lot of unresolved issues. But, you know, just hearing that, you know, you all, as you have grown up and become young women, you know, into adulthood, I'm just like, to me, that's just amazing to hear. So shout out to your sisters as well. And also with that being said, through high school, I remember you being one of the most outspoken and fearless young women I knew. Now, what characteristics and traits defined you then, and do they still define you now?
You know, some good things about me is, you know, always being ambitious, eager to learn new things, you know, exceed my own expectations. I'm very outspoken. I'm a people person. I think all those characteristics kind of came together and made me who I am now, because I still live up to this day, kind of the same way in high school, you know, being ambitious, outspoken, eager, fearless. All those characters still sticks with me in my everyday life, whether it's with Gawdess Mafia or even in my personal, you know, my personal family. Okay. You know, and that's dope. That's dope. I mean, you know, so many of us, a lot of us, we still have that high school brain, unfortunately. And yes.
I know you've seen it. And some of us don't ever transition out of that. And so, you know, just continuing to see people evolving and becoming more of who they are and growing more into themselves. That's something that I know for me is a very personal mission of mine, because I mean, again, I ain't trying to stay like how I was when I was 16, 17, 18. I'm like, no, I'm a grown man now. So what do I need to do to become more of myself and to really capture who it is that makes me who I am? And so just to even hear that, to know that these characteristics and traits are still pushing you forward, I'm just like, look, we're all for evolution here. We're all for being the best self you can possibly be. So I'm very glad to hear that this is also something that has continued to push you forward. And also, like I had stated earlier, I also had the privilege of working for your mother, who has become a very special influence in my professional life. And as an adult, what words of wisdom did she give to you that you still carry?
she always told us, be classy, stay independent, and work for what you want. Those are the top 3 things she's always taught us, and it's something that stuck with me, and I continue to do it.
All right. Did she teach y'all about credit?
That too, yeah.
If there's one thing I know, she's gonna teach somebody about some credit. Look, I got some credit lessons from her. I got some I got a whole list full of websites and stuff like that, to where you can review your credit, you can improve your credit. There's credit forums. I'm like, she has all this information. I'm just like, you know what? I'm glad that I also had the benefits and the privilege of even having her as a resource. And so if I know one thing, if she was this tough with me, a random person who worked for her for a time, when it came to getting credit right, I know that she was 10 times harder with y'all.
Yes, she was.
Oh man, but that's what's up though. That's what's up. And so one thing that a lot of our listeners are probably picking up on right now is that you are also a mother. And shout outs to the young ones in the background, because they are some beautiful children. I have to say, they are some beautiful children. And with your journey into motherhood, what was your experience like when you were carrying and giving birth to your first and your oldest child? And did it change you at all?
I think, of course, having children changes everyone, because you have to go to this stage where you have to give up a lot of things that you were used to doing before. So in some sense, I feel like it changes everyone. You have to transition your lifestyle into, now I have a human being I have to take care of that looks up to me, that you have to provide for. So I always think, I was fortunate to make it out of college at a, I would say, fairly decent age to have my first child, which, was a blessing as well, because Gabby was a preemie. She's actually born at 32 weeks. But I feel like it changes everybody when you have a child, because now you have another responsibility and another human being that you have to provide for, that, that you have to grow up with and looks up to you. So, of course, I absolutely, hands down, believe it changes everyone in some shape and form.
Yeah, it does. It does. Figuratively, literally, spiritually, all of that. Like, so much happens. And I know if there's anything that I can say about you and your company, and even some of the women that are supporting and engaging with your company, it's just, and I know a good amount of them are mothers as well. And if anything, it's like, I want to continue to hammer home that when you are a mother, it's one of the biggest blessings you could ever receive. And this is coming from a father who also has a young girl as a daughter. And the last thing that I ever want anyone to believe is that you have to give up being everything that you are. I feel like as parents, we grow and evolve within ourselves, and we also grow and evolve with our children as well. And so when you can be your best self, it's going to trickle down and inspire your child to be their best self, because the example you're providing is giving them the green light to be like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do this. You know why? Because my mom and my dad or whoever is raising me, they are showing me that it is okay to be this person, and it is okay for me to shine in the way that I want to shine. So definitely kudos to you. I know Gabby is a ball of fire. I know she is. I have seen her do dance battles and like all. I'm like, that little girl right there knows no fear.
Yes.
She knows no fear. And and just to tie it all together, before we go into our first break, with all of these experiences under your belt, Vanessa, how do you view yourself now as an entrepreneur and a businesswoman?
I've been fortunate to have not a lot of different jobs, but good jobs. So I felt like the effort that I put into these positions that I've worked before, the skill level, all that kind of tied into me being an entrepreneur, because you kind of see the potential you have to tap into all these different hats. But who wouldn't want the top hat? Who wouldn't want that? I feel like that what I bring to the table with these employers is the same thing I can bring to the table with my business, how I want to create my business, how I want people to view me and my company.
Right.
So I kind of tied it all together. And then, I just woke up one day and said, you know what, Vanessa, you have the skill level, you have the ambition to be a businesswoman. And that's how I came up with putting up a company that I believed in. So that's where all my thoughts, all my energy goes into me being a businesswoman and entrepreneur.
I love it. And I know that, especially in recent days, entrepreneur is a word that is thrown around so much. It's like, if you're not owning your own business, then you're not doing anything for yourself. Why do you want to continue working for other people? Yada, yada. And the thing is, being an entrepreneur is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of dedication, a lot of patience. Things go right, but just as many things go wrong. And a lot of people, they want to use this word in such a way to where people, they want to make people feel bad if they're not trying to do something for themselves, and not understanding that sometimes you have to sacrifice so much in order to make one idea at least part way work. And just knowing that you have continued to stick with this grind and you have continued to stick to your guns, like, that is something that, as we talk later in the show, I can't wait to pick your mind on, because there's so much that goes on in the mind of an entrepreneur, and being able to speak on this from a successful standpoint, I definitely can't wait to allow our listeners to hear. And so, Vanessa, with that being said, we're actually going to take our very first break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about entrepreneurship and what this has done for you, how this has allowed you to grow and evolve as a person. And we're also going to talk about the Gawdess Mafia itself. So, listeners, make sure you have your water, your wine, your Kool-Aid, your fruit juice, your beer, whatever it is close by. Go ahead and take a sip, and we will be right back. This is Taradcast. Yo, what's good, everyone? This is your host of Taradcast, Tarad Rashan, and I just want to welcome you to the commercial break. Now, you already know what time it is. It's hydration time. Get some high-quality H2O in your system now. Got a few things I'd like to go over. First, to all of our new and returning listeners, thank you so much for your ear and your time. To all of our Patreon supporters, I just want you to know that we are not able to do this without your direct support. So the biggest, dopest Taradcast thank you goes out to you. If you're listening in and you're thinking about becoming part of the Taradcast Patreon family, we'd love to have you. You can find us at www.patreon.com/Taradcast. Now on Patreon, we have 3 tiers of support: a $2 tier, a $3 tier, and lastly, a $6 tier. Each tier comes with its own set of unique perks. So if you find one that fits you, sign up. For us, the main thing is keeping our subscription prices affordable. We know that you work hard for your money, and if you choose to support Taradcast this way, we truly want to make it worth your time. To find out more about our Patreon and the perks with each tier, visit www.patreon.com/Taradcast. We've got it all laid out for you. Also, we've got a merchandise store. Pick up some tees, hoodies, leggings, and more at forevercertain.redbubble.com. All proceeds go right back into the Taradcast podcast and allow us to keep making high quality content for people just like you. For our listeners out there who would like to support us in a non-monetary way, we'd love that too. Share our show with people you know. Also, share us on your social media. And if your favorite Taradcast streaming service allows you to rate and review our show and you're loving what you're hearing, take some time and leave us a 5-star review. Ratings and reviews are what set us apart from other podcasts, and also helps us to recommend our podcast to other listeners we otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to reach. Lastly, if you'd like to reach out to us directly, email us at tarodcast@CRTN-T.com. That's tarodcast@CRTN-T.com. All of this information can always be found in our episode notes, so make sure to check there if you forget any of the information we just went over. Once again, thank you all so much, and let's get back to the program. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Tarodcast. I'm your host, Tarod Rashan, and we are joined today by Vanessa Williams, the owner, founder, CEO, chairperson, the magic maker of the Gawdess Mafia. And so what I want to talk now about is entrepreneurship, because that's actually where we left off. And I want to dig a little bit more deeper into that. And so before you made the decision to become an entrepreneur, I watched you literally become a Jacqueline of all trades. So tell me about some of the jobs you've done and the skills that you developed from those jobs.
So, when I first got into, I would say, my adult life, my first job actually was at Love's corporate office. I landed a logistics analyst role, at 19 years old, as as going to school, as well as carrying my child. So I was over all the Southeast stores. I did all the pricing, I did trading. I did a little bit of everything with fuel. So that kind of tapped into my adult career, I would say. Then from there, I became a broker manager. So I was, a broker negotiating freight. I was talking to different clients and customers. So I kind of got into the freight brokerage side. And then from there, I got my real estate license, in less than 21 days. So I'm a licensed realtor in the state of Oklahoma. So I did that as well. And then from there, I kind of tapped into recruitment. Did very well in Oklahoma City in recruitment, became a branch manager in less than 2 years. And then was promoted to a branch manager in Texas, which promoted me this way to come to Texas. So that's how I ended up here. So I felt a lot of the roles I did over the course of 5 years were very high-end positions. I was fortunate to even clock, 1 year, 84,000 as a corporate recruiter. Oh, wow. So, I'm still doing recruitment as well. So I'm kind of trying to put that hat up and tap more into my entrepreneurship.
Okay. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Like, I remember when you were working, or when your mom was telling me that you were working at Love's. Is that Houston?
Yes.
What's going on, Houston? How are you? Look, I didn't tell the listeners. We also got some more guest stars on the show, but
yes, he's made his guest appearance. He couldn't wait.
You know what? Look, we love the kids, and I can't wait to even see what and who Houston grows up to be with the mom that he has. So I'm just like, I'm ready for that journey too. We might have to have him on the show when he's speaking and telling us everything about what's going on in school and the little projects he's doing and all that. Like, I can't wait for that. But yes, I mean, just being able to even learn those pieces of your trajectory. Like your mom was telling me back when you were at Lowe's about some of the stuff that you were doing. I was just like, wow, and it makes me wonder. I'm like, look, if you were still there, could you even help some of these people on the East Coast with what's going on with the gas shortage and all that? Because I'm like, all this stuff that I'm hearing and seeing on the news, I'm like, what is happening? But I don't know. A lot of people out here panicking like always. But anyway, that's another conversation. I'm over here getting off on a tangent, and I do that a lot. But with that being said, you definitely mentioned earlier that you were talking about the skills that you were developing even at these positions that played a role when it came time for you to make the decision to go into entrepreneurship. And so what I want to do is I want to hear about the turning point that brought you into entrepreneurship, because when I want to know what that idea was. What was that light bulb? What made you say, I'm going to create the Gawdess Mafia? What was that like for you? The kind of jobs that I've had and that I'm currently working, they're not easy. It takes the right kind of person to do the kind of job. A lot of thought process, a lot of, analyzing situations. I felt like I was putting too much energy into these positions.
Yes, I've been fortunate to be very successful, but I was putting too much energy, too much time, too much thought into my jobs, pretty much. So, I just took a turning point, like, you know what, Vanessa, you have kids now. I want to free my time up. My daughter does competitive dance. My son is getting older. The kind of position I have, they're 8 to 5s, but, sometimes days linger a little bit longer where I have stuff I still have to do. So that ultimately it was everything in general, from the time consumption to my children to the energy I'm putting into these jobs. So I felt like if I put 110% into something that I like, I knew I could be successful.
I love that. Just redirecting that same energy and putting it into what you want and what you love. Like that's
yes.
awesome. That's it right there. And that leads me into talking about the Gawdess Mafia itself. I love that name, by the way. That's a dope name. Every time I see it spelled, I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, I say it like that. So I make sure I hit every letter in the way that you spelled it. And so I want to know, what is the inspiration behind that name?
Goddess Mafia, because when I came up with Gawdess Mafia, it was something directed towards women of all shapes, all sizes, all body types, all races. It's pretty much a celebration of women. We're celebrating women. Women are becoming dominant.
Yes.
It's crazy to say. They're becoming dominant. I wanted something of our own, with Camilla coming into office and all these successful women starting to step into these roles that you would traditionally consider a man role. I want to make sure that we still feel valued and we're very important. So that's how I came up with the name, because Goddess speaks for all women, and then we're all a team. So that's where the Mafia came in. So we all stick together no matter what.
I love it. I think a wise priestess once said in a vocal presentation, "Who run the world? Girls." So, I look at this. I look at everything that you're doing, and I definitely see it truly and fully as a celebration of women. And honestly, I'm right here with you, because we need to celebrate our women more. We give y'all so much grief and headaches anyway. Why not actually take some time to celebrate y'all? And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to witness and experience when it comes to just being a part of witnessing what is going on with the Gawdess Mafia. And with that being said, you may have touched on this just a little bit, but I wanted to know, what is the mission and the purpose behind the Gawdess Mafia as you would define it?
So Gawdess Mafia, of course, is a celebration of all women. What my brand does, is we focus on confidence and body positivity. That's a big thing with women. So pretty much the platform that I'm providing is for women to embrace themselves, to modeling, fashion shows, pretty much tap them into things they're not comfortable doing, but making them comfortable in any aspect. A lot of the women in the first fashion show never would have walked out in lingerie, because, people have children and, people are concerned about their bodies, but we give them that inspiration to be comfortable to do those kind of things and make it fun and make it enjoyable for them, make them feel good. So that's pretty much what the brand is about. It's about women of everything, pretty much.
I love that. And with that being said, I also want to know about some of the people you've had the opportunity to meet through the Gawdess Mafia. So, I know you've got stories as well. Depending on how many you want to focus on, I'm definitely going to give you the floor. But I want to know, when it comes to some of the people that you've met through your business, who were they before becoming ambassadors for your business, and who are they now? And please feel free to shout out any and everyone that comes to your mind.
So I can give you a good prime example of a good success story with someone that worked through my business. You can use Queen Lion. She's a prime example of someone that has done modeling. She tapped out of it. She had children, kind of sat still. And then, I kind of, had a conversation with her. I feel like she'll be, good to be like ambassador for my company, and we pretty much ran with it. And just between August of 2020 up until now, she's a full-time model. She's a model coach. She's a dance teacher. She's a performer. She's everything. So kind of the brand brought that back out of her to be able to tap into all these hats she knew that was there. She just needed someone to bring it out, and I feel like Gawdess Mafia did that for her. And now she's able to become one with herself, and she's able to do this full time. What she always wants to do is teach. And I'm glad and grateful that she's able to tap into her teaching hat and do coaching and choreography and dance and all that stuff, because that's really what she wanted to do. And I felt like Gawdess Mafia brought that out in her, and now she's very successful. She's booked all the time. So I really feel good about that and what we're creating with her, and I hope to do that with other women down the line. That's the goal.
Wow. See, you know what? And there was a part of me, I was about to say, is she gonna talk about Queen Lion? Is she gonna talk about Queen Lion? I've been seeing it since I'm not even gonna talk about the next thing. I'm jumping ahead of myself. But I'm just like, I have been seeing her everywhere. Honestly, she's become one of my favorite people to just witness, to be quite honest. And so shout outs to you, Queen Lion. If you are listening, please know that I am very happy that you have had the trajectory that you've had, and that Gawdess Mafia has provided this platform that has allowed you to shine as well. I mean, honestly, it's like even all the girls that I saw at the fashion show, I could tell that they were just in love with what they were doing. They were enjoying it, and they were killing it the entire time.
Yes.
And I was just like, oh my God. And it's actually funny because when I went, I actually went with a good friend of both of ours, who actually was the winner of a recently hosted contest where she had the opportunity to win an all-inclusive prize that included a hotel, a full photo shoot, makeup, promotion, and many other things. And that person is none other than a fan, a supporter of Taradcast, Kalisha, and she's the one who owns Mortanitas Salsitas. And so when you were developing this concept, when you were developing just everything that came with this particular prize, this contest, tell me about what that philosophy was for you, and what that philosophy is like for doing things like this with your brand.
I did that because at the time I was running some model packages, and I know that there's women out there that don't get time for themselves. They have children. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to create something that was affordable for someone else to show my appreciation to women. So I came up with you buy a $5 raffle. If you get pulled, I want to make sure that you feel accommodated. And a lot of these women haven't never done modeling before, so I wanted them to be able to be comfortable. So I did cover hotel. I did cover full makeup set. I did cover, marketing and promotion for them, and cover their photo shoot, because sometimes that's what a woman needs. Even with me having children, how often do I get dressed up to be able to step out and do something out of my comfort zone like that? Not often. Right. So that's kind of how I came with the philosophy, and it was actually two ladies that won, and I wanted to create the experience, and I wanted them to enjoy themselves because, it's about women. I want them to feel good. And that's kind of how I came up with the idea of just doing like a $5 raffle. Yeah. I love that. And as a matter of fact, we actually got the opportunity to even see some of the pictures that were taken from that contest. And they were awesome. I know you've dibbled and dabbled into photography and all these different things. And, just to even see Kalisha in that light, again, I was actually sitting next to her at the fashion show, and she was just like lighting up at everything that was happening. It was quite dope just to see, because it's just like, again, like what you were saying, there are a lot of women out here who just need that opportunity, who just need the time and the place, and then they will just skyrocket. And to me, that's one of the dopest things, especially if you can be that vehicle for a person. Not saying that anybody's down and out or just looking for this or looking for that. It's just like sometimes when it comes to you, when it falls in your lap and you have the freedom to
just express yourself this way, it's just like the sky is the limit. And I'm so overjoyed that she had the opportunity to travel down and to experience that. And I'm actually going to have her on the show to talk about that experience as well, because from the pictures that I saw, I'm like, y'all did her well. Yeah, y'all really made it. Of course. I'm like, look, I'm gonna share and spread love where it's due. So, I just want to let you know, like just even in doing that, I know it lit up her life. I know her husband enjoyed it, and just being able to play that role is so integral. It provides that confidence, and it provides that self-assurance. And it's just like, I'm gonna be a badass today. That's what we gonna do. And you're helping to create those types of situations. So, and before we go into our next break, I have to talk about the recent lingerie fashion show that you brought to Oklahoma City. So tell me what it was like putting all of that together.
I would say, I actually did the same show in Dallas, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a great show. I did a show in Dallas, the same kind of show.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back, my next show, I said, I got to go back home. I'm from Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
I need to bring a new experience. So that's prompted me to come back to Oklahoma City. It was a lot because I am centralized in Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
but luckily I have a good team,
Yeah.
helping me with this whole process. And, we're funding this out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming, no sponsorship, no handouts, no anything. So it was a little bit of struggle,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to make sure that we put on a great show.
Right.
And everyone enjoyed themselves. And, we had models travel from Memphis,
Mm.
from Dallas, from Arkansas, and Oklahoma City to walk in that show.
Wow.
So it wasn't just centralized. And this show that we're doing is not more of like a fashion show. It's more of like showcasing women.
Yes.
And what better way to showcase women than in lingerie?
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes them feel very confident.
Yes.
And I just love it. And, I am funding this same show out of my own pocket in 6 cities. So we're hitting Arkansas, we're hitting Memphis, we're hitting New Orleans, we're hitting Mississippi, we're hitting Houston, we're going back to Dallas. It's a full tour, and I don't expect any handouts. I'm just wanting to go out there and get it. So I can't wait to, see what's in store in these other cities.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. I mean, if, and I had the opportunity of even just taking a brief glimpse into the Dallas show. And I was like, y'all are bringing that here? Oh my God. I can't wait. Like when we were able to secure our table, it was the only thing I could think of for that entire month of April. It was the only thing I could think of during that entire month. And when y'all brought it to us, like y'all brought it down. Like I remember Joelle opened up the show. Queen Lion had her solo performances, all the girls coming through, just bouncing and twerking and just wearing the hell out of their lingerie. Like it was such a fun and dope experience. And I can't wait to see how the other cities react to the show that you are going to be bringing to them. Like I know it's going to be amazing. I know it is. And just being able to be a member of the audience for this show, like that literally changed my life. It did. You created a life-changing experience for me. You did. I don't know if you know that or not, but I'm just like, of course, I still can't get over the fact that I was there. I was all the way drunk. I was gone. I was hooping, hollering, all that. But I remember everything. And just being a part of that, the energy in the room was infectious. Everything was such a wonderful event. Everything was well done. Everybody was professional. I want to say even, some of the girls were coming and waiting the tables and stuff like that before everything started. I want to say Queen Lion came to our table, as a matter of fact. And I was like,
yes, I was waiting tables too. We're out there. We want to be out there and talk to everyone and see how everyone's doing. I don't want to be one of those people that are behind the scenes that are not out in the face and getting feedback. So I was out there serving tables and drinks because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur and as an owner.
Yeah. And then the fact that even your sisters had their roles in it as well. Like that was dope. That was really dope to see. Like I was like, all 3 of them are here. They're here. look at this. This is a whole family affair right now. I'm like, I don't know. Anytime you have the siblings that have your back like that, you can just include one another and all these different things. I think that that's a beautiful thing. So kudos to you, Vanessa, just for such a wonderful event. Because again, I'm over here like, all right, look, I need to purchase some plane tickets. I need to get a hotel. Like, look, I ain't been to New Orleans, so I'm like, let me try and figure out what's going on. Cause I need to.
It's gonna get bigger and better.
Yes, and that's why I can't wait for version 2.
We're running Oklahoma City back, but I got something special.
Oh, so okay.
We're gonna wait a little bit.
All right. Well, look, y'all heard it here first. She got something special coming back up here to OKC. So, look, be on the lookout for that, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and take our last break of the evening, and when we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more about the next generation of entrepreneurship here with Vanessa. So I hope you still got your water close by, your wine, whatever it is. Take another drink, stay hydrated, and we will be right back. This is Taradcast. Y'all didn't know it. I was actually letting Houston bring us back into the show. Y'all, welcome back. This is Taradcast, and we are here with Vanessa Williams. And we are talking now about the next generation of entrepreneurship. And with that, I have been able to witness even another part of the Gawdess Mafia that you are creating. And so, as I mentioned earlier, you are the mother to also an up and coming young businesswoman and entrepreneur. And so tell us a little bit more about your firstborn. Tell us a little bit more about your daughter and how you are setting her up for the next generation of the Gawdess Mafia.
Well, Gabby, she's 8 now. She's a little firecracker. She's done, I started her out, she was the only child for almost 5 years. She was a little more child. So her upgrowing, just loving her. She was a small kid. Like I said, she was a preemie. She was 3 pounds. She's always just been an energetic child. So at 3, she was doing ballet. She was doing gymnastics. She was doing jazz. A little bit of everything. So she's been a little firecracker. She's adjusted to Texas very well. Now she's on a competitive majorette team. She's doing good in school. She's just great. Wow. Yeah, I'm like, for those listening, it's like you have to see Gabby in person. I've actually seen a couple of videos of her doing her majorette dancing, and I know it's got you ripping and running everywhere, just trying to make sure she's here and she's there and just staying active. And honestly, I feel like as a parent, that's one of the best things you can do for your child. If you're able to support that, it's one of the best things that you can do for your child, especially with all that energy, with all that excitement that they have and everything that goes into them growing and developing. And so, speaking of growing and developing, do you find some similarities in how you are bringing her up and also with how you were brought up? Absolutely, because like I said earlier, I feel like the upbringing with her, she's been fortunate to do everything she's wanted to do. I had the same experience when I was a kid. Not necessarily saying spoil her, but making sure she appreciates everything that she has, because Gabby and Houston have a lot of stuff. They get to do a lot of things. They get to travel. I think they're actually probably done a little bit more than what I did when I was a child, because back in the day it was a little bit different than now. These kids are very advanced, so I feel like it's very similar, if not more. I try to keep it to where she's not a spoiled little kid, but we're out here in Texas by ourselves, so I just make her just a little bit more, because we don't have family out here, but I feel there's a lot of similarities from my upbringing and how I'm raising my children.
Yeah. Okay, and I totally understand that. And that is something that, again, when you have the ability to do it and you're actually putting the life of your child as a priority, it's like you want to do everything that you can in order for them to not only be able to expel a lot of this energy that they just have, but to also put them on the path of becoming the best people they can be. And these are going to be memories and milestones that are going to shape them and even shape how they view the world as they continue to grow. And a part of the growing world means that the kids are going to be coming into so many different circumstances than what people like you and I have even experienced. And so I know that you're also playing your role in this process as well. And one of the things that I've seen that you've been teasing is Gawdess Mafia Kids, and your daughter is going to be at the top of it. And so how are you getting her prepared for being a young CEO, just like her mom?
Well, Gabby, she kind of falls into my footsteps as well. When I did discuss that with her, it was nothing I wanted to force on her. I wanted to make sure it's something she wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, the reason, one, why I haven't dropped Gawdess Mafia Kids is education comes first.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to deteriorate and take away from kids learning, because when you get into modeling and stuff, it becomes a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're specializing in a certain type of look for Gawdess Mafia Kids. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of money. All their shoots are going to be out of the box, off the wall shoots. It's not going to be your traditional photo shoots. It's not going to be your traditional anything. So it's going to be very dope how it's being created. So it took a little bit more time to perfect what I want to deliver at Gawdess Mafia Kids, which is why I haven't released it yet.
Okay. And that's understandable. That's completely understandable. I mean, great things take time. Great things take time. So if anything, I'm glad you're not rushing it at all. I'm glad you're giving it the opportunity to just marinate and to get everything else on the back end taken care of. Like, I can't wait for that release as well, because I remember when you teased it a little while ago and I was like, what is she about to introduce to us next? And I'm excited. I'm really excited about what this will be, and also the direction that you're going to allow this to go, and also the lives of kids that you're going to be impacting. And speaking of impacting lives, with Houston, who's been on here giving us all of his commentary on the show, I want to know, do you have anything in store for him as well, or is that information classified?
Houston, he's kind of riding the wave right now. He's going to pop out when needed. So, both my children do have LLCs. Gabby actually has 2 LLCs. Houston doesn't understand the process, so I don't want to push that on him, but he definitely will have a business by the time he's 8. He will definitely understand entrepreneurship, and he will be ready. So that will come down the line. He's not ready yet.
And that's okay. He was like, what you mean? Nah. But no, I mean, and that's dope. That's one of the things that comes to play and comes to mind, whenever we have these conversations about generational wealth and different things like that. It's like, well, how do you accrue that? How do you start that? And I feel like this is one of the ways where you can do that. You are able to create something that your child, if they would like to participate, like what you were saying, but you have the ability to create something for your child that they will be able to be at the top of, and then you will give them the tools and the characteristics, the traits, the business acumen, like all of that stuff, in order to make sure that they feel the confidence to run it and to have that reassurance that, my mom believes in me, and this is going to allow me to succeed. If she believes in me, I know I definitely believe in myself. And so, these types of lessons and things like that, I mean, you cannot buy these. You can't find them on YouTube. You can't buy it at a store. You can't read it on a fortune cookie. And it's so dope to hear that, Gabby's already got 2 LLCs. I'm like, look, I need to go ahead and step my game up while I'm over here playing. But I want to also ask you this, Vanessa, and then we'll actually come to a close. Like what for you? What do you see being the ultimate goal of having your kids understand entrepreneurship?
I want them to know that it's not about money. Mm-hmm. It's about putting your heart and your passion into something that you love. Mm-hmm. So that's if they end up down the line, end up landing a job they absolutely love, I'm all for it. Mm-hmm. If they want to go to entrepreneurship route, I just want them to be smart, think everything through, and put 250% into it. Don't just start a business just to have one. Mm-hmm. And it's not all about money all the time. Of course, that does play a factor because we do have to live. Mm-hmm. But I want them to be something they truly have a passion for, and they truly want to sit down and actually put thought into a business versus just creating something just to be like everyone else.
Right. Because there's definitely a lot of that going on, and yes. the people who find out how to get an LLC and all that, I'm just like, they're doing this and doing that, but understanding the heart of what it takes to actually have something successful, or even just to have something meaningful that matters to you. Like a lot of people, again, it's like a trend. A lot of people are just like, all right, well, I'm a business owner, this and that, but I'm just like, but are you really? What is it that makes me want to engage in your business? Do you know your own value? Do you have a mission statement? Do you have a greater purpose than just having an LLC because, everybody else has one? And so for me, it's definitely refreshing to hear that when it comes to the way that you think about things, your mindset towards this entire endeavor, you're wanting them to have the opportunity to truly look and say, I have this available to me. Now, what will I do with it? And if I want to do something with it, how can I make it great and not just something that falls in line with what everybody else claims to do? So again, Vanessa, I think that what you're doing is magnificent. I think what you're doing is beautiful, and just being able to even sit on this side and to be a witness to what it is that you have in store, not only for us and the grown folks, but even for the children. I think you are going to, No, I'm not even going to say I think. I know that you are going to see all kinds of success that you project, success you don't even know about. And I cannot wait to have another conversation with you on that side, just to tell us more about how Gawdess Mafia is playing a role in your family's trajectory. So with that being said, y'all, Vanessa, I have to simply thank you for taking time to be on the show. Houston, thank you for being on the show as well. And before we head out, Vanessa, would you like to say anything in closing to our listeners?
I just want to say that I appreciate you, Tarad, for having your Taradcast, and everyone out there listening. Stay true to what you believe in. You are going to be great. You're going to excel in anything you do, and make sure if you pick entrepreneurship, you put 200% into it, and I hope everyone becomes successful.
Yes. Y'all heard it from Vanessa. Stay true to yourself, and make sure that you continue to look at yourself as successful, even when you're just starting out. Visualize it, manifest it, grab it. Even if it's not tangible in your hands, if it's tangible in your mind, soon you will be able to have it. So Vanessa, again, thank you so much. And I wanted to give you the opportunity to plug yourself. And so if people would like the opportunity to follow you and also keep up with you and the Gawdess Mafia, where are some of the best places to find you?
So the best place to find us with the most resourceful information is going to be the website, which is www.goddessmafia.com. Mm-hmm. We do have a Facebook like page as well as an Instagram, and it is our name, Gawdess Mafia. Okay. If you have any questions, you can reach us on any of those three platforms, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. But just stay tuned for some more dopeness is going to be coming up 2021.
All right. We gonna be staying tuned. Well, we'll also make sure to provide this information in our episode notes as well, so that way people will have those little clickable links to click on just to go right to you and see everything that the Gawdess Mafia is about. And so again, Vanessa, thank you, and thank Houston for your time. Hopefully he's gonna listen to this when he's older and be like, that was me, mama? That was me? So with that being said, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and close out. You all know how to find us. You all know how to support us. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review and also take the conversation to our throne room. Links, just like everything else, are in our show notes. Y'all already know how we end it. Whomever you are, wherever you are, I want to always encourage you to be more introspective and vulnerable with yourself. Know who you are, trust in who you are, love who you are. For all of you listening, thank you so much for listening. Again, Vanessa, thank you. This has been another episode of Tarodcast, and I hope that you all will make every effort to find and keep your peace. Till next time.